Host, smiling, does this look familiar? Maybe it's not the messy desk but the feeling, the constant worry that no matter how hard you try, your money just seems to slip through your fingers. Dramatic pause, close-up of host. What if I told you it's not your fault? What if it's because you've been fed lies about budgeting, myths that are actually costing you money? Music swells as graphics of budgeting myths appear. Today, we're busting those myths wide open. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to turn your budget into the financial weapon you've been dreaming of. But don't go anywhere, one of the myths I'm going to share could be draining hundreds from your account every single month without you even realizing it. Ready? Let's dive in. Act 1, The Problem. Myth 1, budgeting is only for people who are bad with money. 2:30 to 5:20. Host, you've heard it before, budgeting is for people who can't manage their money. But here's the kicker, that's like saying the gym is only for people who are out of shape. In reality, the wealthiest, most financially successful people budget. Oprah budgets. Warren Buffett budgets. You should too. Pattern interrupt, imagine telling Elon Musk, hey, budgeting's for amateurs. He'd probably laugh at you, and then build a budgeting app to prove you wrong. Transition, here's the truth, if you're not budgeting, you're not planning. And if you're not planning, you're hoping. And hope isn't a strategy. Myth 2, a budget means you can't have fun. 5:20 to 8:10. Host, here's a myth that's ruined way too many weekends, budgeting equals misery. It's like the word budget conjures up images of eating ramen noodles for eternity. But budgeting isn't about deprivation, it's about prioritization. Emotional pull, imagine this, you're scrolling Instagram, watching your friends on vacation, and thinking, why can't I afford that? The truth is, you can. A budget doesn't mean no fun, it just means choosing which fun matters most to you. Pattern interrupt, because let's face it, who needs 5 subscriptions to streaming services when you only watch the same 3 shows anyway? Cliffhanger, and speaking of waste, the next myth is costing you in ways you'd never expect. Act 2, The Solution. Myth 3, budgets have to be perfect. 8:10 to 11 o'clock. Host, here's a budgeting myth that's sneaky. It whispers in your ear, if you can't do it perfectly, don't do it at all. But perfection is the enemy of progress. Excitement, a messy budget that works is better than a perfect budget that stays on paper. Some months will have surprises, a last-minute road trip, a new gadget you just had to have. And guess what? That's okay. Budgets are meant to be flexible. Transition, because at the end of the day, budgeting is a skill, not a set-it-and-forget-it system. Let's talk about another myth that's been holding you back from mastering it. Myth 4, I don't make enough money to budget. Host, I get it. You're thinking, how can I budget when my paycheck barely covers my bills? But here's the truth, budgeting isn't about how much you make, it's about how much you keep. Think of budgeting as your defense against lifestyle inflation, that slow creep of spending more just because you're earning more. Even a small budget is powerful because it builds habits that compound over time. Because let's be real, the Kardashians don't worry about budgeting, but you're not a Kardashian. Yet. Now, what if I told you there's one budgeting myth that actually encourages overspending? Let's talk about it. Myth 5, I don't need to track my spending. Host, this is the myth that's quietly draining your bank account. Not tracking your spending is like trying to lose weight without ever stepping on a scale. You can't manage what you don't measure. Think about it, how many times have you opened your bank app and thought, wait, where did all my money go? That's what happens when you don't track. But here's the good news, tracking doesn't have to be tedious. There are apps, spreadsheets, and even pen and paper methods that can fit into your lifestyle. Once you see where your money goes, you'll feel like you've unlocked a superpower. And speaking of superpowers, what if I told you there's a way to budget that feels almost effortless? Stay with me. Myth 6, budgets are all about cutting back. Budgets often carry a stigma as instruments of restriction, with many believing that their primary function is to take away the joys and indulgences of life. However, this perception couldn't be further from the truth. A budget is not a shackle but a tool, one that enables you to make intentional decisions about your money. It's not about saying no to everything, it's about saying yes to what truly matters. By aligning your spending with your values and goals, you're not cutting back, you're cutting away what doesn't serve you. Think of a budget as a map for your financial journey. Without it, you're wandering aimlessly, likely spending on things that offer fleeting satisfaction while neglecting opportunities to build lasting wealth and security. With a budget, you chart a course toward the things you truly care about, a dream vacation, a debt-free life, or even an early retirement. Far from being a tool of limitation, a budget is a means of empowerment, giving you the confidence to spend with purpose and peace of mind. The call to action. So there you have it, the 6 biggest budgeting myths, debunked. Which one surprised you the most? Let me know in the comments below. And remember, the best time to start budgeting was yesterday. The second best time is today. If you're ready to take the next step, check out my video on how to create a bulletproof budget in just 10 minutes. It's packed with tips to get you started right now. Click here, and I'll see you over there.